Hey everyone, welcome back. A huge shout out to all my grade 9 students across the Philippines joining us for today's MAPEH Explainer. So today we're doing something pretty awesome. We're going to bridge your absolute love for esports with some real-world event management skills. We are taking the health and organizational concepts you learn in PE and applying them directly to your passions like Mobile Legends or Valorant. We're not just playing today, folks. We're literally learning how to be the masterminds who run the whole tournament. All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the esports myth. Then look at the 4 pillars: budget and contingency plans, the 6-step master plan, some real-world scenarios, and finally, wrap it all up with the ultimate priority. Let's jump right into Section 1, the esports myth. So, a lot of you might think that throwing an esports tournament for your next PETA basically just means picking a cool game and tossing some diamonds to the winner, right? Well, actually, scratch that. That prize, it's literally just the visible tip of the iceberg. The massive chunk underwater that nobody sees is the behind-the-scenes coordination. We're talking formatting brackets, managing complex tech, and, most importantly, participant welfare. If you don't have a clear process for officiating disputes or scheduling health breaks, your event is gonna sink fast. Moving on to Section 2, the 4 pillars of operations. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with planning. This is where you take that awesome idea and turn it into real rules, actual schedules, and concrete safety measures. You really gotta ask yourself, does a best-of-3 format actually fit into our 45-minute MAPEH class period? Because a brilliant idea still has to be tested against your real-world time limits and resources. Next up is organizing. Because let's be real, once you have a solid plan, you need to assign accountable roles. We've all been in those group projects where roles aren't clear, right? It's a disaster. Either one person does absolutely everything or nobody does anything. You have to organize the equipment, the network, and your classmates so your team knows exactly who is handling what. Then we have directing. This is all about active leadership. It's keeping those lines of communication wide open while the event is actually happening. You are the event lead guiding your classmates. Think about it. If there's a huge argument over a random lag spike in the middle of a game, who makes the final call? That right there is directing in action. And the 4th pillar is controlling. Now let me be super clear here. Controlling does not mean being some bossy dictator. It's simply about monitoring your operations to see if the tech and schedules are actually working and making lightning-fast corrections if they aren't. Are the headsets working? Is everyone playing fairly? Effective management is just about keeping the whole shebang on track and safe. Okay, Section 3, budget and contingency plans. So you really gotta ask yourself, what on earth are you gonna do when the technology just straight up fails right in the middle of a crucial match? Especially here in the Philippines, right? Unexpected brownouts or crazy internet lag spikes happen all the time. If the school Wi-Fi suddenly drops or a PC crashes during the semifinals, what is your next move? You absolutely cannot just wing it. You need a contingency plan, which, is really just a fancy way of saying a plan B. And a solid backup plan answers 4 critical questions. What exactly is the problem? Who has the authority to make the decision to switch? What specific backup resource are we using? And how are we communicating this change to the stressed-out players? Like, if you need a backup pocket Wi-Fi, you have to plan and budget for that ahead of time, not just pray one magically appears. All right, let's look at Section 4, the 6-step master plan. This sequence is an absolute game changer, and the order really matters. First, you define your goals and format. Second, figure out your venue and tech needs. Step 3 is developing the rules. And hey, notice how you don't assign roles, which is Step 4, until those rules are crystal clear. Step 5 is huge for us in MAPEH, prepping the budget and the participant wellness measures. And finally, Step 6 is completely non-optional. You must conduct a full technical test. Test the devices, the network, the backups. Do it all before event day so you catch those problems early. Section 5. Real-world scenarios. Okay, picture this. Your event plan is totally done, everyone is hyped, but suddenly you realize the school computer lab just does not have enough working devices for that massive 5v5 bracket you promised. You only have enough PCs for a 3v3 setup. What do you do? Instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, which, spoiler alert, will cause absolute chaos on event day, the correct operational response is to adjust your game format beforehand. You might need to reduce the number of matches, totally change the bracket, or just switch to that 3v3 format. The key is to document this alternative plan based on your actual capacity, not your dream scenario. Pushing forward with a setup you literally cannot support just leads to an unfair event and a really messy performance task. And that brings us to Section 6, the ultimate priority. Our source material hits the nail on the head with this quote. The event plan must be workable, not just ideal on paper. A genuinely successful event is the result of prepared, tested details, not just hype. If your plan looks amazing on a Google Doc, but compromises the health, safety, or fairness of your classmates in reality, it's just not a workable plan. Because at the end of the day, participant welfare is the ultimate operational priority. Remember, this is PE and health. We care about your holistic well-being. Your operations plan exists strictly to guarantee safety and wellness. That means you absolutely have to schedule mandatory health breaks to prevent eye strain. You have to check the ergonomics, making sure the chairs and desks actually support good posture so your players aren't wrecking their backs. Never ever trade safety just for the sake of excitement. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one critical thought. When it's your turn to step up and manage an event for your next MAPEH performance task, how will you ensure that safety and wellness aren't just an afterthought? How are you going to use your new planning, organizing, directing, and controlling skills to create an esports experience that is fair, completely feasible, and healthy for your classmates? Think about it and start planning your ultimate event. Class dismissed. I'll catch you all next time.